Hi, my name is Mia Danae. Welcome if you're new here. If you're not, it is so nice to see you again. Okay guys, we're doing a Q&A today, which is super exciting. If you see me looking down a lot, it's because I have my iPad on my lap so I can look at the questions that you guys asked. So this is to celebrate 300 subscribers, which I know in my last video I already thanked you guys for 300 subscribers, but thank you again. It means the world to me, and that's why we're doing this Q&A today, because I thought, you know, I talk a lot. We might as well talk about something you guys want to hear about. So our first questions come from Nick Greco 2065. First question is, where would my dream vacation be? And I'd have to say Italy. Like specifically Rome. I've always wanted to go to Italy or Ireland. I'm mostly, like, I've done, like, Ancestry DNA before, and I'm mostly Irish and Italian. Like, those are my top two ethnicities. So, like, I'd love to go to, like, the places where my ancestors came from. But specifically Italy, I've always felt very drawn to Italy. I want to go there so bad. So, yeah, I think Italy would definitely be my dream vacation. Or just maybe, like, the whole, like, Mediterranean area would be super, super cool to visit. He also asked, what are my biggest pet peeves? Oh, God. Snoring. I cannot stand snoring. Or, like, this might be because I'm an only child, so, like, I never had to share a room, really. I mean, I did at certain points, because, like, I had, like, my cousin lived with me for a little bit at one point, but, like, for the most part, I never had to share a room with anybody. I cannot stand snoring. I cannot stand people talking while I'm asleep. Drives me crazy. Or, like, being too loud. Like, I will genuinely be so mad. Like, I will wake up like the meanest version of myself. Even my dog snoring, it irks my soul. That is a huge pet peeve, snoring. And also when people talk during shows when I don't have the captions on. I can be okay with you talking during a show. I've learned to tune people out while watching TV and movies. But if I don't have the captions on and you're talking, I'm going to lose my mind. Because I don't know what they're saying. Because, like, all I'm hearing is you. And, like, I talk sometimes during, like, shows and whatever. But like I said, it's okay when the captions are on. It is not okay when they aren't on. Because, like, for some reason, some, like, streaming services, the captions are super delayed. So, like, you can't have them on. Like, so, like, that's what I mean. Or, like same thing at a movie theater. Like, there's no captions. That drives me crazy, too. Because I love to watch something with captions. So, yeah. Those are some pet peeves. Nick has one more question. Where would I move to one day if I left my home state? Probably New York City. I want to live in New York City one day. That is a huge goal of mine. A couple years ago, I probably would have said Los Angeles, California. Now I'm not so sure. I would love to live somewhere warm because I hate winter. So, like, I guess Los Angeles is not off the table. It is something I would be interested in. But I love New York City so much. I've kind of always wanted to live in New York City, like, since I was a teenager. And then I went to New York City, and I literally never felt so alive as I did in New York City. And I was only there for, like, 5 hours. It was the most amazing experience of my life. Like, literally, like, I was, like, euphoric just watching people live their lives in New York City. Like, I was like, I cannot believe you guys get to just, like, walk out of, like, your house, your apartment, whatever, and this is just your life. Like, this is amazing. Like, I think I have to live in New York City one day. I don't think I'll live there forever if I do live there, but I have to live there at some point for, like, at least a little bit of time. And I would also like to live somewhere warm. But I am such an East Coast girl, and I wouldn't go down south. So, like, that's kind of, like, the problem. Like, it's, like, either to be somewhere warm, it would be, like, California, you know? So, I don't know. If you can hear, like, something really, like, kind of loud in the background, it is very windy right now. Like, I mean, like, 70-mile-per-hour winds. Really bad weather advisory going on at the moment. So if you can hear that, I don't know. There's some really bad drafts in my house. So, like, it may, like, move the door and stuff. So if you hear that, just... Okay, so PBP with JJ asked, what have I learned from being on YouTube so far? Oh God. Okay. I honestly think I've really learned how to be more comfortable with myself. Like I've said before that I feel most myself in front of a camera. That is why I always wanted to be an actress. But for a very long time, like for most of my life, I was very insecure about my personality. I don't really know why. Maybe I do know why, but we won't get into that today. But it was very like scary posting my first YouTube video, even though like I love making it, just like putting that out into the world. And it's still scary every time because I have no idea what people are gonna say. I have no idea. I never know. I think it's taught me to be more comfortable with myself and more trusting of myself and like my instincts. And this is gonna sound kind of sad in a way, but like people like my personality, and that I don't really need to try to be someone different. But I think it's actually such a great thing. And at least that's how I feel right now. Okay, and then our next question is from Andy Roots 5848. He asked, do you like to swim in an appropriate manner? Which I don't really know what you mean, like how that would be in an inappropriate manner. But yes, I do. Like, I don't know, is that like an innuendo or something, like, that I'm not getting? Is I'm, like, that will go over my head, if it is. And I'm gonna feel really stupid if it is. If it's an innuendo, tell me right now. But I'm gonna take the question seriously, like, you're really asking me if I like to swim. So yes, I do. I had an in-ground pool growing up. So. And then he had a second question. What is the origin of my name? Which that is actually such a interesting question. I love that. I love that question. Okay. So, because it actually made me look into the origin of like my full name. I know the origin of my first name, but like Mia Danae, I was like, I want to give you guys the origin of the whole thing, you know? First, I'll tell you how my parents came up with the name Mia. I know that that's a very popular name now, but contrary to popular, like, belief, when I was born, it wasn't a popular name. My mom met this little girl named Mia. I think she was, like, babysitting her, maybe in, like, 2002 or something. And she had never, like, really heard that name before, and she thought it was, like, a really beautiful name. And then, you know, she talked about it with my dad. My dad thought it was a really beautiful name. They teetered on naming me Cadence, but it was almost, like, I think pretty much the whole time my mom was pregnant with me, it was pretty much, like, yeah, my name was gonna be Mia. And Mia means mine or beloved in Latin and Italian, I believe. And then Danae. Okay, so this is interesting because I had never looked up the origin of the name Danae until this question, and I found out something like super, super interesting. But first I'm going to tell you how my parents came up with that name. There's a chain of stores in South Jersey called Heritage's, right? My mom went there all the time while she was pregnant with me, and there was this young girl, like a teenager, I guess, that worked there named Danae. And I guess my mom becomes friends with everyone, like, especially at stores that she frequents. So I guess she became friendly with her. And this girl was like, you should name your baby after me. And my mom was like, huh, maybe. Like, she went home and talked to my dad about it, and she was like, should we name her Danae? And my dad was like, it is a really pretty name. And they ended up deciding on it being my middle name. So that is how my name became Mia Danae. Okay, by the way, Danae is my middle name, but I go by Mia Danae, like, pretty much 100% unless I'm at a doctor's office, so. And then, so, as for the origins of the name Danae, wow. Okay, so I ended up looking it up, and Danae was a part of, like, Greek mythology. It's a Greek name, which very much surprised me. Danae was a princess. This is Greek mythology, by the way. This is not, like, real history. So there was like this prophecy around this princess Danae that she would have a son that would kill her father. So her father like locked her up in this like bronze like cage or something. Excuse me if I get the details. Hold on, wait. Actually, should I just look it up again? Okay, yeah, I was right. So he imprisoned her in a bronze chamber. And however, though, Zeus impregnated her in the bronze chamber, and she gave birth to Perseus, who did end up killing his grandfather. To like give you the short version of the story. If you want to look it up, you should. It's actually very interesting. If you're into Greek mythology, it's a very interesting story. And I'm very proud to share a name with this girl boss. Our next question is from Spencer Uncensored 2088. What's the craziest thing you've ever done? Guys, I gotta be so honest with you. I am kind of lame. I'm trying to think of like what the craziest thing I've ever done is. Like, and I don't know. I don't know. I've been trying to, like, since I read it, I've been trying to think of what the craziest thing I've ever done is. And I don't know. I was kind of like bad as a teenager. Like I had a little bit of a rebellious phase, but it was very short-lived. It was like a year. And I mean in that time, okay. Oh, no, I can't actually. Okay, I can't tell you the craziest thing I've ever done because I actually broke a law to do it. So, sorry. But I saved a cat's life doing it. So, okay, like, it was wholesome, but I did break a law, so I'm not gonna admit to that on the internet. But, like, I saved a cat's life, and, yeah. Alright? That was something I did as a teenager. It was, like, very impulsive and illegal. But, like I said, I saved a cat's life, so what is my favorite thing to do besides YouTube? Okay, so, like, hobby-wise, I love painting. I'm not the greatest painter in the world. That, by the way, if you ever see that, I painted that when I was 16, so just, like, please don't touch that. I love, like, crafts. Oh, bedazzling. I love bedazzling. And I'm pretty good at it. Like, I'm really good at bedazzling. That is very much a hobby of mine. I love crafts. I love, like, hand making things, like out of clay, like, all that stuff. I feel like in, like, the past, like, year, I haven't had as much time for, like, my creative hobbies as much, which kind of sucks. I'm trying to make more time for it. What else do I like to do? I love shopping. Not at stores, though. Guys, here's a little lore drop about me. I'm gonna make a whole video about this one day, and I'll explain the whole thing. But when I was 16, I developed agoraphobia, like full agoraphobia, like did not leave the house. But something a lot of people don't know is that agoraphobia, like, has, like, different, like, levels to it. It's not just someone who, like, just doesn't leave the house. Like, that's, like, the worst point you could be at. But, I still do struggle with my agoraphobia, and, I don't like going into big stores. That is, like, a huge trigger for me. Like, Walmart, malls, Target. Target's actually a little bit okay. I don't know why. I'm kind of okay with Target. I can sort of go into Target. I went into Target not that long ago. And then I'm more okay with, like, stores that are, like, medium sized, and then, like, small stores, fine. Yeah. So, but I do love shopping. I love shopping. I love the dollar store. So I guess I do like shopping in person. I like online shopping and shopping in person. I just don't, like, go to the mall and shop. Not in years, at least. It's something I gotta work on. I know. I'm gonna make a whole video one day and talk about the agoraphobia thing, because I feel like that is something maybe you guys would be interested in hearing about. It's not something you hear every day. Do I eat catfish? Oh wait, I forgot to say who that question was from. That was from KUWJT. And then they also asked, Do I eat catfish? No. I'm a vegetarian. I'm not a vegan, guys. I do eat, like, cheese and stuff. People get vegetarian and vegan mixed up a lot. And they also asked, how bad are potholes where you live? This was a very, like, KUWJT. You had a very interesting variety of questions. But, not that bad. I don't really think I ever really see potholes. See, I am like paranoid sometimes, okay? I always feel like people are trying to like get one over on me and like get me to like say something like innuendo. I don't know why. And like I'm like rereading these questions and I'm like, is there something in here that was like an innuendo that I didn't get? That's always a fear of mine. Please don't do that to me, guys. Spencer Uncensored 2088, he asked, what are my top 10 favorite movies of all time? And okay, so I've told you guys before I have a top 6. So for this question, I had to do some thinking, and I went on my Letterboxd and found out there are so many movies I love, and I couldn't just pick 10. So hold on, I'm just going to tell you there's more than 10 here. So here we go through the list. This is like honestly gonna be in no particular order, honestly, even though I told you guys before I have like my top 6. Once I like looked through the Letterboxd and like realized like how many movies I love, I realized like I kind of love all these movies equally. So yeah, Barbie, I saw that movie in theaters in 2023. It made me feel so many things. I cried. I don't even normally cry at movies. I cried at that movie. Love that movie to death. The Hunger Games: Catching Fire. It's a masterpiece. That movie is amazing. So was the book. Scream 1996. That was the first horror movie that I ever really loved. I'm not even really a big horror movie fan, but like you can see I have a poster of it right there. Love that movie. I think it is great. I just love it. Clueless. I love Clueless. Young Paul Rudd in that movie. That's just a side note. That is not why I love Clueless. I love Cher. I watched Clueless for the first time when I was probably like 11 years old, and I loved Cher. She was like the first time I saw like a woman just be like feminine, and it was like okay. It wasn't like she wasn't like she was brought down for it sometimes, but it was just like I don't know. I just wanted to be her. I wanted to be her. I wanted to embody her. Like, I still do. Maybe I just, like, really resonated with her in a way, and I absolutely love that movie. Little Women 2019. I was so late to watching this movie. I literally watched it, like, last year. Great movie. Made me feel so many things. I don't have sisters, but it made me feel like I did. And, like, I was just totally immersed, and I resonated with both, like, Jo March and Amy March so much. Like, I know everyone's like, I'm a Jo girl, I'm an Amy girl. I felt like I resonated, like, with both of them so much. And I just love, like, that is a great movie. It's, Spider-Man No Way Home. Do I even have to explain that one? That is just an amazing movie. It's an amazing movie. With Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland, like, all together. Like, that was peak cinema. Like, and I love Spider-Man, so that was just, like, amazing. Okay, then A Cinderella Story. Okay, so this one is because that was my first ever favorite movie as a kid. I was obsessed with that movie. Austin Ames from, like, it's Chad Michael Murray, but, I knew him as Austin Ames as a kid. He was my first ever crush. I was like 2 years old or 3 years old, and my mom says that like I watched that movie all the time, and then I told her, I was like, Austin Ames is so cute, mommy. And but I still love that movie, and it makes me so nostalgic. Twisters 2024, which is kind of crazy. I was terrified to watch that movie because I have like such a deep fear of tornadoes. Because one time, we used to not get tornadoes in New Jersey, but like back in like 2015, we got a tornado, and I was in a car when it happened, and like the car almost tipped over, and then like we got stuck in this like Rite Aid, and like the power was it was a really crazy situation. It kind of like, I was really young, and it was like really scary to me. Made me absolutely terrified of like high winds, whatever, all this. I was terrified to watch Twisters. I thought it would make my fear so much worse. I absolutely loved that movie, and in fact made me less scared of tornadoes. Like, that has to be one of my favorite movies, because like it literally like helped me get over one of my biggest fears. The Princess Diaries. I love that movie. One of the main reasons has to be because her name is Mia. At the time when I first watched The Princess Diaries, I'd never seen anyone on TV with the name Mia. And she's Princess Mia. I was a kid, you know. She was Princess Mia. Like, what is cooler than that? In 7th grade, I used to put that movie on every single night before I went to bed. Like, that is what I went to sleep to every single night. Obviously, it has to be one of my favorite movies. And then we have Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. That is obviously the best Harry Potter movie. I love the whole franchise, but Prisoner of Azkaban is, like, arguably the best movie out of the franchise. So, argue with the wall if you disagree. These are, like, more like my honorable mentions, I guess. Edge of 17, love that movie so much. It's a really good movie. It's just a really, I don't really know what else to say about it. Pitch Perfect, that was like my first like grown-up movie I was allowed to watch. I think I watched it when I was like 8 years old, and I watched it with my older cousins, and I felt so cool, and I've just, you know, so like it made me always kind of love it. Legally Blonde, because I want to be Elle Woods. That movie might have made me the feminist that I am, honestly. And then obviously 10 Things I Hate About You. I've said before that didn't make it to my top 6, and I didn't know why, but it has to make it. What if I'm mentioning all these movies? I love 10 Things I Hate About You. Obviously I have a poster of it. It's a great movie. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. That is one of my favorite rom-coms ever. I also didn't watch that movie until like later in life. Like, I think I didn't watch that movie until I was like 18 or 19, which is kind of crazy. Absolutely amazing movie. I love that movie so much. I don't really have any profound thoughts about it besides I just really enjoy it. Love, Rosie, great movie. It is devastating, but it's not devastating. It does have a happy ending, but it's like gut-wrenching, and like I really loved it as a teenager, so like I felt like I had to include it. I feel as though that movie would piss a lot of people off, but also I was so like angsty as a teenager. I just loved like the angst of their relationship and like how they just like would not get together, and I think that has to do with the fact that I'm like a little emotionally unavailable, so I was like, yeah, don't admit your feelings. Aquamarine, again, one of my first ever favorite movies. I was obsessed with Aquamarine as a kid, and like rightfully so. It is an iconic movie. It is an amazing movie about female friendship, and I love it. Jennifer's Body. Oh my god, I love that freaking movie. I feel like so many people don't like that movie. Like, I mean, now they do, but like I've heard that like when that movie came out, like so many people hated that movie. I do not understand how they hated that movie. That movie was amazing in my opinion. That movie won an Oscar in my home. I really want to be Jennifer's Body for Halloween. I've been wanting to do it for years. Maybe this year will be the year that I do it. I don't know. Not Jennifer's Body. Like, I want to be Jennifer from Jennifer's Body for Halloween. There's so many iconic lines from that movie. Like, you're killing people. No, I'm killing boys. Boys are just placeholders. They come and they go. I love that line so much. It's so iconic. It's so iconic. And then The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. That movie's amazing. Rachel Zegler is amazing. F you to all her haters. I don't know why people hate her so much. She is great. She killed that role. And so did, I forget his name now, but the guy, he's like, his name's like Tom, right? It's Tom something. He played Snow, young Snow. They both killed it. I loved that movie. It was like everything I wanted it to be. Okay, we are done talking about movies now. That was such a ramble. Okay, so Toby Stewart 4724 asked, will there be an Eagles three-peat? I hope so. I don't know. I don't like to make predictions. I'm such a liar. I do like to make predictions. Why did I say that? But I don't know. I mean, that would be awesome. But I guess we'll have to see. Loot Lovers Luz 9534. I'm sorry if I said your username wrong. You are like one of like my like ride or die commenters, but I am sorry if I said your username wrong. You asked, what is my favorite food and favorite dessert? That is such a hard question. I am such a picky eater. I get like hyper fixated on certain foods like for a certain amount of times. But my favorite food would have to probably be a rice bowl from Moe's Southwest Grill. And I'm not telling you guys what I get on it because you're gonna judge me, okay? Or my mom's spaghetti. Those two are tied because she makes the best sauce in the whole world. My favorite dessert, cookies. Like, I love cookies. I think, like, like my favorite dessert would probably change, like, depending on, like, how I'm feeling. But I'd have to say, like a real solid has always been cookies. Chocolate chip cookies, I think. Or peanut butter blossom cookies. I love them. But I only have them at Christmas. I've told you guys that before. Talking makeup. As, what lip gloss, liner, and or tint are you wearing? In that video, I was wearing, and I am wearing right now too, I'm wearing the same lip combo. This is lip liner Stain, spelled Stayn, like that's how they spell stain. It looks like this, in the shade Left on Red. Love the shade, it is very pretty. And then over top of it, I have on, this was something a brand sent me, but it's a really good lip gloss. MLS Mile, I think is the brand, but it's called Fat Oil Lip Drip, in shade 5. That's what it looks like. So this is the lip combo that I've been wearing recently. I changed it up a lot. Talking Makeup also asked, what is my top 3 favorite TV show series? That is such a hard question. Like, to only pick 3, I watch so many shows, guys. I've watched so many shows. Okay, but I'm gonna have to say my favorite show of all time is One Tree Hill. So that's number 1. Second, Gilmore Girls. And then for my third one, okay, this one has to be a tie between one of my comfort shows. Like, I have a couple comfort shows that, like, I go to sleep with on every night. And those are, like, it varies between Ghosts, the US version, Abbott Elementary, New Girl, and Modern Family. So, like, I would say one of them has to go in the third spot. But also, like, oh my god, there's so many shows I love. There are so many shows I love. Like, Vampire Diaries, like, the originals, Stranger Things, Gossip Girl, Dexter Original Sin. Oh my god, Dexter Original Sin might be better than original Dexter. And, like, that might be controversial to say, but I'm gonna say it. Someone has to say it. Pretty Little Liars. It's not that great of a show, actually. It's just, like, it's fun. Shameless. I love Shameless. I have to mention Teen Wolf. I named my dog after one of the characters. What am I doing? God, there's too many shows I like. The 100. I was very obsessed with The 100 for a very long time. The Boys and Gen V. I really like those shows. I mean, they're very gory, but they're good. I love, like, the satire on America in them. I think it goes over some people's heads, to be honest with you, which is kind of hilarious to me. I love, like, the satirical take on, like, America in that show with superheroes. Like, it's very interesting. It's a thinker. It's a real thinker, but it goes over a lot of people's heads. And School Spirit, watching that again recently because it's on again. The Way Home too. I like that show. Okay, I need to stop. I could go on about shows forever and ever and ever. Okay, we're done. Okay, we are gonna wrap things up here. This is probably gonna be such a long video because I can never shut the fuck up. And then when you guys are giving me prompts, I did not think this through. I was given prompts to talk about. I could not stop talking. I think I answered every question. But thank you again for 300 subscribers. This was a really fun video to film. I hope maybe we get to do another Q&A soon. Maybe the next one will be for 500 subscribers. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Bye.